Welcome back to the Delaware Way. I'm Larry Menti. As you know, there is a massive hurricane relief effort going on, and part of that is happening in Delaware. Part of the relief effort is Senator Stephanie Hansen, who is a Democrat from Middletown. Thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
What is happening in Delaware? It's funny because I saw a press release that was out, and it said Hurricane Harvey, and then it was Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma, and now it's Hurricane. It keeps growing. Now it's Puerto Rico as well. What is the effort that's happening in Delaware?
Well, this is really an effort that was spearheaded by a constituent of mine, the Bishop Jeffrey Broughton from Living Grace Worship Chapel down in Middletown. He has actually brought the issue to my attention, and with the help of some of the other senators that are in, Senator Poore and Senator McBride and others, this effort has grown to be a fill the truck for Texas effort. There's a huge box truck that's going to be leaving Middletown October the 22nd, filled with supplies specifically going to Texas. And the organizations that are now a part of this is tremendous. I mean, everyone deserves a lot of credit, because right now, you know, we've had the hurricane in Florida, and we've had the hurricane in Texas and in Puerto Rico, and now the man-made disaster that we have in Las Vegas. There is always an issue of being overwhelmed, and have we reached the point of disaster fatigue? You know, what can we do? I think it's important, given all of the things that are going on right now, that we kind of take a breath, step back for a second and say, there's a lot going on right now. Is there some way that I can help? The answer to that is yes. This is one particular avenue that you can help, the fill the truck for Texas, which is what I'm talking about. That will also then, that's not just a single effort, it will go on again to fill the truck for Puerto Rico. I know that there's an effort with that.
Fill the ship for Puerto Rico. You'd have to go too, yeah.
That's right. That's right. So it's an effort that will continue and be sustained. I know the state police are involved with it as well, the Delaware National Guard. Many of the faith-based groups are a part of this, as well as the Colonial School District.
Here's the great thing about what you've done. It's that because you had all of the attention focused on helping Texas, that operation is all in place. Right. You have all the right players in place to now help in Puerto Rico that's been absolutely devastated, and I'm certain that's your next step.
Absolutely, absolutely it is. And again, I give all the credit and to Bishop Broughton, because he has really kind of been spearheading the effort.
We had the Lieutenant Governor on right before you, and this show is going to air, and we're still going to be mourning as a nation over what happened in Las Vegas.
Yes.
I asked her for her thoughts. Yours?
It's shock. I don't understand how this happened. It's like it just came out of nowhere, and it's so horrendous. I think that it's important that we figure out kind of how it happened. You know, what if any warning signs were there? What can we do in the future to make our open venues more safe so that something like this doesn't happen? I mean, when you look at the number of weapons that were able to be transported up into the hotel, I mean, how did that happen? You know, how do you bring in, 17, 19 different weapons and all the supplies that go with that without raising a suspicion somehow? I mean, we're all armchair quarterbacks, you know, trying to make sense out of a senseless tragedy.
Right, and I love that you said, let's let this play out and then figure out what happened before we start talking about solutions. I think this is time for the country to mourn, and then the solutions we can talk about as the days and weeks go on, but it's important to talk about the solutions. I also talked to Lieutenant Governor about her behavioral health consortium. Yes. A big part of that you're involved in, and that's getting some legislation through when it comes to our opioid crisis. One question I posed to her, which I'll pose to you, is we have so much legislation that's being passed, and we have a federal attention, media attention to it, and things don't seem to be getting better.
I think that the answer to that is going to be the Behavioral Health Consortium, and that's because it is a large organization. There are a lot of people involved with it. All the right agencies are involved with it. There are good points and bad points to that. You know, a good point is that we can be coordinated and sustained with our approach, which is what we want to be. The bad side, the flips, I wouldn't say the bad, the flip side to that is, I want to go now. You know, a lot of people want to go now. We have a crisis and we need to be on top of it yesterday. So there's an urgency to that, and you know, how much can we move forward now separately while we're waiting for the consortium to get into place, which I'll be on, and many of the players will be on as well. We want to move stuff now. We just want to make sure it's coordinated in the future as well, so we're not having to go back and then undo legislation that we just worked so hard on last session.
You said you have legislation you're working on today.
Right.
You'll come back to talk about that?
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Senator Stephanie Hansen, Democrat from Middletown. When we come back, you're not going to believe this, but there are still mosquitoes out there, and they are still passing along diseases. It's happened in Delaware. We'll tell you what you can do about that when the Delaware Way continues.